How are some men able to pull women so quickly? A lot of people have good points here, but another thing I observed with a couple friends of mine that always seemed to do well with women is they seemed to give zero fucks. If they got shot down, they would talk to anyone, and if a girl wasn't interested, they moved straight on to the next without even blinking. I would be so terrified of making myself look that a lot of the time I wouldn't even try. I don't know if this necessarily right or wrong, but it definitely seemed to work for them. Edit, this blew up more than I realized it would. So thanks, everyone, to the people who seem to be trying to give some sort of advice to me. I'm doing just fine. Thanks. These were observations I made when I was much younger and did quite alright with women once I was a bit older, and I'm happily married now. You'd be absolutely astounded by how far all confidence can get you. I have rode a pure confidence high into flirting with every woman within 100 miles radius with at least 30% success rate. Absolutely the right answer you got there. It helps if you have things you're confident about though. Obviously a ton of factors impact this, but a commonly overlooked one I see a lot of people who are introspective enough to, for example, go on Reddit and ask a question like this, are engaged in a lot of self-monitoring behavior. You are highly aware of your own physical and emotional state, or at least think you are. This is probably attributable to being somewhere on the higher versus lower side of the anxiety scale. Since a young age, you have been monitoring your own behavior and subconsciously and consciously regulating it based on your expectations for how this behavior will cause other people to react. A common, often incorrect, belief is that there's something shameful about sexual desire or expressing any desire at all if you're an intense people pleaser. These people with flowers to F-fest aren't necessarily different because of what they're doing. It's what they're not doing. They are not monitoring their behavior for subtle signs of sexual desire or interest and hiding them. You may have experienced this phenomenon in your life, but if you're not repulsed by someone, there's nothing more attractive than someone who is clearly into you. It's a confidence boost, a safe bet, and thrilling. All of these people around you are confident enough to give the subtle, and not so subtle, signs of sexual attraction to one another. Sexy thoughts lead to sexy behavior, and sexy behavior leads to sex. Just my 2 cents. Get confidence. Stupid, this thread in a nutshell. Be good looking. Be confident. Be funny. You only need to be 2 of these to be attractive to the majority of women. If you're all 3 you don't even have to try really. You can be a complete asshole and they will still want you. It starts by talking to women. That's it. The missing component. All these years and the answer was right in front of me. Some people are more attractive than others. Rule #1, be attractive. Maybe it's because you're ugly Patrick Star. I'm ugly and I'm proud. If you are asking this question you need social skills and have determination. Number 1, get comfortable talking to anyone, not just women. Talk to people until you never appear awkward, shy or creepy. Ask questions. Make follow-ups to conversations. Overall you need to be pleasant to be around. Number 2, when you see a woman you like, talk to her with intention of letting her know fairly quickly that you are interested. If you wait too long you'll get friend-zoned. Even if you're undecisive, do not show the indecisiveness in front of her. Be yourself. Do not try to be extremely nice and accommodating or it will be off-putting. And when you do ask her out, do it with a plan, date, time and place. Confident, in shape, handsome, attractive lifestyle, genuine personality, very experienced in dating/conversating with women. But let's be all the way honest, you can still be good looking with some charm and confidence to pull women on a base level. Women won't admit it, but us guys know someone, or have known someone, that a girl dated/banged, and he was literally an attractive bum. Charisma and a symmetrical face. 6 months is quickly, it's a big office. Talk to the girls and make them laugh. Throw a bit of flirt in there. Have the balls to make the move when the time is right. How does one make them laugh? What are they to be talked about? What type of flirt? Where? What kind of move? When is the time right? Personality and proximity. I studied in Germany for part of architecture school, and I remember all the guys who come back telling me there's going to be a point where every girl in the program picks on one of 3 guys that they really want to sleep with. Turns out I was one of those guys, lol. Looks, intelligence, ambition/confidence, one of 3 people settle for 2 of 3, and you're a catch. Mix it with being in a situation where you have to be with the person day in and day out, and things start happening. You have to figure. For most of human history, marriage was based on proximity to your farm. There's something to be said for that. Bonds are built by repeated interaction. Any tray you have that suggests you'd be good for rearing offspring is icing on the cake. It's like everyone got a flyer to the F festival but me. I love this line. Be charismatic, good looking, or tall. If you're all 3, it's so easy it's almost boring. If you're one of those 3, it's still pretty easy, lol. Remember the 2 rules. 1. Be attractive. 2. Don't be unattractive. It's as easy as that. You won't ever catch a fish if you never go to the lake. What astounds me, not saying you, is that many men don't even try or put in effort. They think S is gonna fall into their lap. Like just some effort and confidence. The world will be open cess aimed for you. You can't win them all, so don't expect that. But if you never play, you will never win either. Give yourself a chance. I live in the suburbs in my 20s, the lake is empty. Confidence. I'm far from God's gift to women, but I have confidence and a severe case of ADHD that when combined has worked, and still works wonders. I'm told regularly how playful and high energy I am, and they seem to love it. I cold approach often with few rejections, and it's been this way my entire adult life. OFC, you can't win them all, but it's facing those rejections in a positive manner that only strengthens that confidence further. Be yourself. Try not to be creepy, and approach with a smile and you may surprise yourself. In my prime, I was an easy 7, and only 5'7" lol, and my raw confidence back then did me many favors. That's all it is. Be likable, carry yourself well, reap rewards. I hear you. Always thought this about a mate of mine I used to work with. He wasn't a looker at all. Banged on about being a good Christian. Had a wife at home but then cheated on her with a colleague who knew he had a wife. Then he started an affair with another colleague at the same time as the other one, and she knew he had a wife and was sleeping with the other colleague. I had absolutely no idea what these women saw in him, as he was only in it for himself. The issue in your evaluation is you're primarily looking at exterior/superficial appearances. So much is going over your head, bro. As long as women feel good in a guy's presence, the rest doesn't matter as much. Lots of guys have their S together and are utterly clueless when it comes to socializing with women in a way that builds attraction. If you lack an understanding of women or man-woman social dynamics, that's okay. You can always learn. Like I had to, because my dad wasn't much help in this area of life. Maybe you care more about separating work and play. Maybe your sex drive isn't as high as your coworkers. It can be anything. And we can speculate all day. Who knows, some of those dudes have a more mysterious and/or positive vibe. Women feel good when they are around those guys. They are probably funny. They probably know how to flirt without being inappropriate. They're probably not uptight at work and don't take themselves too seriously, which helps women relax. Their body language might be on point. They might know how to read social cues and act on them. They understand a woman's hints. They don't hesitate when it's time to make a move. They assume all these women love them by default, because who wouldn't want to love them? They have an irrational belief in themselves. They understand that pulling and sex isn't as big a deal as you're making it seem. Men are visually stimulated. Women aren't blind, but they are emotionally stimulated. Above all else. This might sound silly, but guys don't have to be physically attractive, contrary to Reddit propaganda, to be skilled in something. A lot of ugly but skilled people exist. Some of those guys happen to be skilled at pulling. Since it's a skill, it's something you can improve. That's the good news. If you're secure in both yourselves and focused on your purpose, you have nothing to prove to women or to other men. Self-focus creates its own attraction for success in most things. The best bait Doesn't need game to attract what will be attracted to it. Be tall and attractive. As someone who is tall and physically attractive, I find that it's the arrogant cockhead guys that get laid more often. Yeah, no, the ones who are overly confident to the point that they think the girl did herself a disservice if she rejects him. Well, men are usually stronger, so they can pull harder and faster, and some guys are stronger than others. So it really depends on how strong the women and men are and how many, but I'm not an expert on tug of war. My partner is a talker. He can talk to anyone. He can find one thing with anybody that they have in common and go from there. He's always been able to pull women since I knew him. I met him 13 years ago, and it still blows my mind. He also has confidence anywhere he goes.